In some AC, our Ghana, I some AC, a move a do a dog, so much short, somebody Michi, about in some year air course, you say, wow, tea, they also do from no doubt. Comments and down when you face them, it's not commenting, American kind of want to my own quay, never tea in some name.
Danger. There is something called the banks that is supposed to keep the money. So keep the money at the banks. Now, if the money is not legitimate, that is where people keep them in their houses. Legitimate monies are kept in the bank so that we will know we have that kind of transparency in the in and out of that money. So we have to investigate first the source of the money. And if it is legitimate, why is it being kept in the house? And you know, the money lost for a while before she even recognized that the money has been lost. And these are all questions that we should be asking ourselves. I have appeared in many jury duties before where you're not supposed to preempt the case to know what is happening so that you will judge the person. But I think that there are more questions here than answers. One, why keep that big money in your house if it is legitimate? Two, what is the source of the money? Three, as a public figure, why should you create that kind of danger for everybody who's a public figure? Because now people are thinking that most ministers and most MPs, Cecilia Dapaah was an MP, former MP of Bantaman. Most MPs and ministers have stacked money in their houses, so they will be targets. And these are questions that we should be asking ourselves, how do we solve them? So I think that, you know, first, government should issue a statement about what they know about the issue. And then, if I were her, I would step aside. I will step aside as a minister so that there will be investigation into the issue. And if nothing is found against me, I come back to take my position.
Well, you're expecting that a statement, at least a statement from the government, by now, from the presidency, should have been issued.
Yes, that's leadership.
Well, as we speak, there is dead silence. We haven't heard anything as yet from the presidency on this matter. But in your estimation, at the least, a statement should have come out by now.
Yes.
Okay. Talking about statements, we just got a statement as well. This is from Cecilia Dapaah herself. It's the text is not that visible, but we will try to, put it on the screen as we go on. She says, quote, this is the heading, statement from Cecilia Dapaah. I refer to publication dated yesterday, 21st July 2023, suggesting that I own $1 million, 300,000 euros, and millions of cedis, which have been stolen from my house. There are noticeable inconsistencies. This is paragraph 2 of the statement. Okay. There are noticeable inconsistencies between what is being discussed in the public domain and the thrust of the original complaint on the matter. I am taking steps to examine the origins of the inconsistencies and will provide a detailed response in the coming days. That's Cecilia Dapaah's statement. He says, I'm taking steps to examine the origins of the inconsistencies and will provide a detailed response in the coming days.
Alfred, if you ask me, this is too late. It's too late for her to do that because the issue is already public knowledge. Why do you have to wait, at appropriate time to provide the noticeable inconsistencies? What are the noticeable inconsistencies? The fact sheet is there. What is happening? Money has been stolen from your private house. The money is huge, which is supposed to be at the bank. That is if. So there's the power of if. If the money is legitimate, it's supposed to be at the bank. So if you have noticed any inconsistencies, noticeable inconsistencies in the reportage, let it out so that people will know. The more you wait, the more people speculate about you. And all those speculations may be wrong, but don't wait till people, put you into that tight corner because your back will be hitting the wall now. You have to come out and say the truth. And like I said, if I were her, instead of giving text messages and everything, issue a press release. She says, minister, for heaven's sake. And she knows what to do. A press release, a press statement that says that these are the facts, what happened in my house, because you are privy to it. You are a witness to whatever that happened to you. And you are the center of this, whole talk. So come out with your bold statement. This is what happened. And that is why we sent it to court. This is why we waited till this time before we went to court. That will really exonerate her from most of these inconsistencies that she's talking about.
I see. Well, Lawyer Martin Pebble, let me bring you in at this point, especially because of the issues about the law, the position of the law and so on. There was a question about whether there's a specific law that bars anybody from keeping that much money in their private residence. But then Professor Entry brings about the dimension about the perception of the legitimacy of the source of the money. So that if you have this much money and you are taking it to a financial institution, they will ask fundamental questions, much of it about the source of your money, where that money is coming from. So if you're keeping it away from the formal system that would authenticate the source of the money, the indication is that it is ill-gotten wealth. Is this something that you agree with?
Oh, absolutely. Because that's the framework of our law. You see, from the Constitution to the Anti-Money Laundering Act, Act 1044. So when you start with the Constitution makes a clear statement that if you have money or any other property and cannot justify how you obtained it, then it's presumed to be stolen, or let's say this unlawfully earned money, acquired or earned money. So that's the framework in the Constitution. You go to Act 1044.
Act 1044.
Yes, that's the Anti-Money Laundering Act. And you find that there are similar provisions. If you send such money, it's going to trigger suspicion. So under Act 1044, the Anti-Money Laundering Act, you hear about suspicious transaction report. The banks would have to report. Yes, because with such a colossal sum, what you're going to find is that money is way more than a minister's income. And Cecilia Dapaah is not been known to be any industrious lady who had made money in private life. And the asset she declared, she declared her asset. If she was that wealthy as a millionaire, I'm sure in Ghana it would have been well known to us, right? Yes, so we can not fault Professor Entry for saying that there is perception that this money is ill-gotten, right? Okay, so now let's read the constitutional provision, the first one. So I'm looking at Article 286, Clause 4. It says, any property or assets acquired by a public officer after the initial declaration required by Clause 1 of this article, and which is not reasonably attributable to income, gift, loan, inheritance, or any other reasonable source, shall be deemed to have been acquired in contravention of this Constitution. That's it. So any income, all right, property that cannot reasonably be attributable to your income, gift, loan, inheritance, or any other reasonable source shall be deemed. Look, and Professor Entry made a very poignant point. Look, it's when the person cannot justify, then they bring initial statements like this. There are inconsistencies. I will look into it. I'll come back. No. It's too little, too late. Trust me. Look, if you earn the money honestly, as soon as you hear the first media report, if it's honest money from legitimate business, quickly, you also hit back because you don't want falsehoods to travel that far. Look, this story didn't start today. And it's unfortunate. Let's bring this before we continue. Look, I'm very passionate about juvenile justice, right? Children should be protected at all times, even when they are in conflict with the law. Let's not disclose the identities of children involved in crime. The lady's name shouldn't have been disclosed. The police made a huge mistake. No, it should have been done in such a way that her identity is protected. Because under the Juvenile Justice Act, you see, at the time these things are alleged to have happened, she was a juvenile, right? So there is a way that you have to do it. Under the law, it's an offense to disclose the identity of the juvenile.
Yo, and when and some air cross any the air but I'm not sure say the same year out here, you also doing for home, but Jack comments with the mention ha guarantee to me. I'm say because a book with Chiame, a dean, I'm just a subscribe and I was share. See, I did, Macron.